Before we start, if you have any suggestions, please drop them in the comments below to help me get better. Thank you all.
The White Lotus teaches a masterclass in handling a home wrecker. Even the wealthy heir of Heicheng ended up falling head over heels for a poor, resilient White Lotus like me. It was like a cliché idol drama come to life. Consumed by jealousy and hatred, my sister drove a car directly into me. When we opened our eyes again, both of us had been reborn back to the exact day of our adoption as the orphanage. Before anyone could react, my sister rushed forward and threw herself into the arms of the middle-aged female janitor. A confident, triumphant smile lit up her face as she whispered, "Sister, this time around, the female lead of the idol drama is going to be me." What she failed to realize was that being the female lead had never been about one's background. Inside its orphanage director's office, two families stood opposite each other, the prestigious Lu family and humble Jiang family. The three members of the Lu family were dressed impeccably in high fashion. The father wore a tailored suit, the mother was draped in sparkling designer jewelry, and their son, Lu Chengyu, wore a high school uniform paired with global limited edition sneakers. This was the prominent Lu family of Haicheng. Father Lu was a prominent business tycoon whose enterprises generated a major portion of the city's tax revenue. Mother Lu was a renowned socialite, frequently seen raising glasses at charity galas alongside top celebrities. Their only son, Lu Chengyu, had long been dubbed the young crown prince of Haicheng. Standing beside them, the Jiang couple looked far more modest. Their hands were calloused from years of hard manual labor, and though their clothes were neat, they still carried the faint smell of unwashed sweat. According to the orphanage director, both worked at Heicheng No. 1 High School, the husband as a handyman and the wife as a janitor. In our past life, my sister Shishi hadn't hesitated for a single second before choosing the wealthy Lu family. Yet at this moment, terrified of being a second late, she practically hurled herself into the arms of the janitor woman. Her voice trembled with excitement as she cried out, "Mom, please take me home. I want to be your daughter. From now on, my name is Jiang Shishi." Amidst my sister's hysterical joy, I quietly walked over and stood beside the Lu family. Just like that, our fates were decided once more. As we were led out of the orphanage, I heard the director muttering softly behind us. How strange. Shishi was always the most ambitious girl here. Whenever prospective adopters wore plain clothes, she wouldn't even spare them a second glance. Now that a truly wealthy family finally showed up, why didn't she pick them? The director was confused, but I understood perfectly. In our previous life, my sister had used every trick in the book to be adopted into the Lu family, becoming Lu Shishi. She had genuinely believed that what awaited her was the life of a pampered princess. She had also envisioned a romantic fairy tale with Lu Chengyu, the heir of Haicheng, assuming that living under the same roof would naturally spark unforbidden romance. What she hadn't anticipated was that Lu Chengyu possessed not a single drop of brotherly affection. Instead, he loathed her to his very core. He had sneered at her with utter contempt, saying, "The type of person I despise most in this world is an opportunistic leech. Don't think I can see right through a scheming green tea like you. You're just after my family's money." Inside the Lu household, Lu Chengyu tormented Lu Shishi openly. At school, he rallied his group of lackeys to make her life a living hell. Even though Father and Mother Lu knew about the abuse, they merely gave him superficial scoldings. They never truly loved Lu Shishi. The only reason they had adopted the girl in the first place was because a fortune teller told Father Lu that adopting a daughter would guarantee 10 years of booming fortune for his business. Between an adopted daughter and their biological son, they naturally favored their own blood. While Lu Chengyu tormented Lu Shishi everywhere he went, he treated me with surprising softness. He watched me earn full scholarships, top every examination, and work late nights assisting my adoptive mother with her cleaning job. Despite living such an exhausting life, I never uttered a single complaint. Jiang Xian, you really are an interesting girl, he had thought. It was the classic trope straight out of an idol drama, an arrogant young master falling for a poor Cinderella who refused to bow to fate. Years later, when father and mother Lu passed away, Lu Chengyu showed up at the estate division with a team of elite lawyers. Shishi was outmaneuvered so thoroughly she couldn't even raise her head, leaving empty-handed without a single cent. A few months later, Lu Chengyu married me. At our lavish wedding, he declared publicly in front of all the guests, Jiang Xian, from this day forth, everything that belongs to me belongs to you. Regrettably, I never got the chance to enjoy that immense wealth. Just a few days later, driven mad by the psychological blow, Shishi rented a car and slammed it straight into me at full speed. Returning to this life, my sister hadn't hesitated to choose the Jiang family. Although they lacked billions, there were no brutal inheritance battles. She believed she could receive undivided parental love, grow up in a warm home, and use her pitiful background to win the wealthy prince's sympathy, ultimately securing a fairy tale wedding. She smirked at me, her voice dripping with triumphant pride. Sister, it's my turn to be the female lead of the idol drama. As for you, why don't you enjoy everything I had to go through? Shishi's predictions were entirely accurate, except for the fact that Lu Chenyu's cruel bullying started even earlier than in our past life. At school, my head was shoved violently into a sink filled with cold water. Around me, the rowdy laughter of a gang of teenage boys echoed off the tiles. Just as I was about to lose my breath completely, someone yanked me up by my hair. Lu Chenyu narrowed his eyes at me, a malicious smirk playing on his lips. So you want my family's money, huh? Fine, drink all the water in this sink. For every gulp you swallow, I'll give you 10,000 yuan. How about it? His cronies immediately cheered and hooted, their faces flushed with sadistic excitement. I wiped my face and looked up at Lu Chenyu, the very man who had softly confessed his love to me in my previous life, now pouring absolute malice onto me. Yet Lu Chenyu's gaze didn't linger on my face for long. His eyes drifted past my shoulder toward the hallway behind me. I knew without turning that Jiang Shishi was sweeping the floor right there. Isn't that Jiang Shishi? Why is she sweeping the floor? One of the lackeys asked, turning to Lu Chenyu. Her mother is the school janitor. She studies by day and stays late at night to help her mother work. A flicker of surprise flashed across Lu Chenyu's eyes, quickly followed by a visible wave of pity. He called out loudly toward Jiang Shishi, "Hey, it's so cold out tonight. Stop sweeping." Nobody's coming to inspect anyway. Jiang Shishi slowly straightened her back. Her dark hair fell over her shoulders, highlighting her delicate, defiant face. She shook her head softly. "I can't. If the inspectors find the floor dirty, my mother will have 100 yuan deducted from her wages." I know 100 yuan is pocket change to a young master like you, but for my family, that's a whole week's worth of groceries. Having said her piece, Jiang Shishi bent back down, adopting a fragile yet unyielding posture as she continued to sweep. In truth, anyone with half a brain could see right through her little act. Out of the entire building, she had intentionally chosen to mop right in front of Lu Chenyu. She had deliberately unpinned her hair, rolled up her sleeves, and tucked her skirt just high enough above her knees, positioning herself at the most flattering angle. Sadly for me, Lu Chenyu happened to adore exactly this trope. Sure enough, he stepped forward, grabbed Jiang Shishi by the arm to pull her up, and snatched the broom from her hands. He tossed it carelessly to his lackeys behind him. "You guys finish sweeping the rest for her," he ordered. He stared at Jiang Shishi's hands, which were red from the bitter cold, hesitated for a moment, then unzipped his heavy designer coat and draped it over her frail shoulders. "It's getting late. How are you getting home? By bicycle, she murmured softly. It's freezing outside, and you're riding a bike? Lu Chenyu frowned, his tone leaving no room for argument. Go downstairs and wait. I'll have my personal driver take you home. Shielded under Lu Chenyu's care, Jiang Shishi walked away. Before rounding the corner, she didn't forget to glance back at me over her shoulder, her lips curling into a mocking smile. Before long, everyone had dispersed. Beside the cold sink, I was left entirely alone. I leaned against the basin, pushing myself up with effort, and used my wet sleeve to wipe the water dripping from my hair. Use this, a cool, detached voice sounded from behind me. I turned around to find our class monitor, Tang Muning. She was a quiet girl who studied relentlessly, always wearing long sleeves regardless of the season. In our previous life, she had also tried to help Jiang Shishi when she was being bullied, handing her a towel and urging her to report Lu Chenyu's behavior. Back then, however, Jiang Shishi had slapped her hand away, snapping, "What do you know? He's my brother." Shishi had been clinging to the delusion that Lu Chenyu would fall in love with her. After that incident, Tang Muning never interfered in her affairs again, returning to her quiet, isolated life. Before graduation, Tang Muning had suddenly committed suicide. It wasn't until after her death that we learned of her horrific family situation: a bedridden grandmother and a gambling addict father who routinely beat her and had even tried to sell her off to pay his debts. Now she stood beside me, holding out a clean towel. I stared in surprise for a moment before reaching out to accept it. Without another word, she turned to walk away. Perhaps in her eyes, a pampered heiress of the Lu family wasn't worth chatting with. Watching her frail, receding figure, I suddenly called out, "Class monitor." Her footsteps paused. I scratched my head, playing dumb. I just transferred here, and I don't know my way around yet. Where's the cafeteria? Could you show me? Even years later, I would always remember the faint glimmer that appeared in Tang Muning's eyes at that exact moment. Moments later, our table in the cafeteria was set with 4 main dishes and a soup: sweet and sour pork ribs, steamed egg with minced meat, Coca-Cola braised chicken wings, boiled greens, and a clam and loofah soup. The top high school in Haicheng certainly lived up to its reputation. The food was exceptional. I rubbed the back of my neck with an embarrassed smile. It seems I accidentally ordered way too much food. It'd be such a waste to throw it out. You probably haven't eaten dinner yet either, right? Why don't we eat together? Tang Muning remained silent for a long moment before finally picking up her chopsticks, eating slowly, bite by bite. I looked at her thin wrist sticking out of her uniform sleeve. She was so malnourished, she was practically skin and bones. In reality, people like our class monitor were the ones who truly deserved the helping hand. Yet, because they weren't remarkably pretty, never complained, and didn't know how to act fragile, they were left to wither like dry grass in the background of other people's youth. Never even granted the chance to be the protagonist of a story. In this life, I didn't just want to save myself, I wanted to drag her out of that dark abyss as well. With that thought in mind, I sighed dramatically. Aya, these recent math problems are way too hard. I don't understand them at all. Class monitor, your grades are so amazing, could you tutor me? Tang Muning, who was chewing on a pork rib, looked up in visible shock. Her expression practically read, "Are we really close enough for that?" I didn't give her a chance to decline. Throwing an arm over her shoulder, I flashed her a sly smile. "Then it's settled. I'll pay you a proper tutoring fee." Shortly after, I withdrew a portion of my allowance and handed it to Tang Muning, giving it a respectable title and advance payment for tutoring services. She stared at the envelope in her hand, filled with crisp, brand new 100 yuan bills, completely speechless. Truth be told, Whether in the past life or this one, the Lu family had never mistreated their adopted daughter in terms of clothing or pocket money. To Lu Chengyu, this money was nothing more than loose change. To Tang Muning, however, it was enough to purchase medicine for her grandmother, cover hospital fees, and even rent a small apartment outside to escape her abusive father. After setting our tutoring schedule for the next day, I returned home. The vast, luxurious mansion was completely empty. Father Lu was away on a business trip. Mother Lu was at a beauty salon, and Lu Chengyu was likely sitting at the Jiang family's dinner table. In our past life, Lu Chengyu had instructed his driver to take me home, a scene that happened to be witnessed by my adoptive parents. They had enthusiastically insisted on keeping him for dinner. What followed was the classic idol drama script, a single home-cooked meal made the wealthy young master, who had grown up in a cold and detached household, feel the warmth of a normal family for the very first time. The simple, honest smiles of the young couple and the cramped old apartment, filled with everyday life, made Lu Chengyu feel at peace. It also made him fall even deeper for the poor white lotus raised in such an environment. At this very moment, he and Jiang Shishi were probably enjoying their modest meal with genuine joy in their hearts. Meanwhile, I calmly changed into my silk pajamas, washed my face with an expensive cleanser, and enjoyed a bowl of steamed bird's nest with rock sugar served by the maid. A faint, cold smile touched the corners of my lips. No one knew that while the Jiang couple was indeed poor, they were anything but simple or honest. They were deeply patriarchal and had originally wanted to adopt a boy. However, young boys were rare in orphanages, and those available often had physical disabilities, so they reluctantly settled on a pretty girl, calculating that she could bring in a wealthy son-in-law later. Seeing Lu Chengyu bring their daughter home, the couple's blood had boiled with excitement. They immediately set out to cater to this potential gold mine. The so-called familial warmth and everyday charm were nothing more than a calculated performance after all. It was the only leverage they had to move a wealthy young master. In my previous life, when I told them I didn't want to marry Lu Chengyu, my adoptive mother locked me in a room while my adoptive father beat me within an inch of my life using a table leg and his leather belt. Shishi believed she had stepped into paradise this time, entirely unaware that a real paradise had never existed in the first place. The Lu family was a wealthy hell, while the Jiang family was an impoverished hell. As for who could survive and crawl out of hell, that depended entirely on one's own capability. Over the following days, Lu Chenyu's malice grew increasingly unhinged. When I opened the lunchbox prepared by the maid, it was stuffed with sharp thumbtacks. Dead spiders were crammed into my face wash and toothpaste tubes. The designer dresses hanging in my closet were burned full of holes by cigarette butts. Every time I looked up in alarm, I would catch Lu Chenyu's sinister smirk. He would mouth the words slowly to me. "Lu Xian, you deserve this." Lu Chenyu expected me to break down and cry, but I merely dumped the thumbtacks into the trash, tossed the dead spiders away, and folded the ruined dresses neatly back into the closet. As a result, the smirk on Lu Chenyu's face gradually withered away. He glared at me, his teeth gritted in frustration. "I want to see just how long you can keep up this act." Fortunately, although I still had to endure Lu Chenyu's petty cruelty, all the resources of the Lu family were now firmly in my hands. I no longer had to attend school by day and scrub floors alongside my adoptive mother by night. On the contrary, I had maids catering to my daily life and a personal chauffeur driving me around. All I needed to do was focus entirely on my studies. In my previous life, just to buy a few extra textbooks, I had to scrimp and save for months while constantly guarding against my adoptive father stealing my money for alcohol and gambling. Now, my closet was lined with brand-name dresses, and my jewelry box held pieces from Van Cleef Arpels and Cartier, all casually gifted to me by Mother Lu, without me spending a single cent. On top of that, I received 50,000 yuan in cash as monthly pocket money, along with a credit card carrying 100,000 yuan limit. If I ever ran out, a single word to the housekeeper would have fresh funds transferred to my account within half an hour. Meanwhile, the miserable days I had once suffered were now being experienced in full by Jiang Shishi. I noticed her nodding off during almost every single class because she had to work late nights with her mother. Gradually, her homework went unfinished, and she began turning in blank exam papers. In my past life, I had relied on black coffee to force myself awake, resorting to poking myself with a compass when the exhaustion became unbearable, fighting with everything I had to study. However, the Jiang Shishi of the past life had been raised as a pampered young lady. She possessed none of that grit or iron determination. Besides, she didn't care about academics in the first place. In her eyes, becoming the fiancé of the Lu family prince was infinitely more important than getting accepted into Peking or Tsinghua University. Thus, her entire focus was spent on a single goal, making Lu Chenyu fall deeper in love with her. During MasterClass, instead of listening to the lecture, she secretly wrote romantic diaries intended specifically for Lu Chenyu to read. During dance practice, she skipped class altogether to sneak out with him for countryside walks and stargazing. As a result, right before the class dance performance, she sat weeping outside the practice room. I had to admit, Jiang Shishi had thoroughly studied how female leads in idol dramas wept, tilting her head at a perfect angle, letting tears pool at the corners of her eyes, while maintaining a fiercely stubborn expression, refusing to let them fall. Sure enough, Lu Chenyu happened to walk past and stopped to ask what was wrong. The tears she had been holding back finally cascaded down her cheeks as she threw herself into his arms, sobbing hysterically. "Chenyu, I don't have the right to stand on that stage anymore. Every girl in our class gets to perform, except me. Lu Xian removed me from the roster." Lu Chenyu, who already despised me to the core, darkened instantly upon hearing those words. "Why?" Jiang Shishi bit her lip, trying to choke back her sobs. She said my mother is just a janitor and my father is just a security guard. She said I can't even afford the performance costume, so I'm not worthy of being on stage. Lu Chenyu's expression grew thunderous. "It's just a performance costume. I'll buy it for you." Jiang Shishi shook her head, playing the noble, unyielding white lotus to perfection. "No, a single outfit costs 800 yuan. I can't accept such an expensive gift from you." "Lu Xian, how dare she?" Lu Chenyu roared in anger. Jiang Shishi shook her head tearfully. "She's your sister now, the eldest young lady of the Lu family. Your family donated several buildings to the school, and your father is the honorary principal. Even if the teachers know she's bullying me, what could they possibly do?" What Jiang Shishi hadn't noticed was that a group of reporters who had come to the school for an interview happened to be walking down the hallway behind her. Like sharks smelling blood, one of the journalists perked up instantly and leaned forward. "Bullying? What bullying?" The situation erupted with explosive speed. The school's largest auditorium was packed to capacity with the principal, vice principal, head of discipline, homeroom teachers, and journalists from various news outlets. Both the Lu and Jiang families were present. The Jiang couple stood in a corner of the room with reddened eyes, shielding Jiang Shishi behind them, their faces painted with a mix of grievance and righteous fury. Their acting was so convincing, it immediately evoked deep sympathy from the onlookers. Father and Mother Lu had initially ignored the call regarding my trouble, intending to skip the meeting entirely, until they heard that the newly appointed director of the Education Bureau, Director Li, was also attending. Only then did they hurry over. Haicheng No. 1 High School was the city's key educational institution, making it a major focal point for the Education Bureau. Naturally, Father Lu was acquainted with Director Li. The moment he stepped through the door, He walked straight up to him with a polished, diplomatic smile. To think a small matter like this would disturb you, Director Lee. It's really just a silly squabble between children. However, Director Lee took an uncompromising stance, giving Father Liu no face whatsoever. School bullying is never a small matter, no matter when it occurs. I know Lu Xian is your adopted daughter, General Manager Liu, but every child here is a student and a pillar of our society's future. I cannot stand by and watch them grow up in a toxic environment. As a newly appointed official, Director Lee needed to establish his authority and project a strong public image before the media. Everyone understood this dynamic. Since matters had reached this point, Father Lu could only smile smoothly and nod along. Yes, of course. We aren't entirely clear on what transpired either, so we'll rely on you to thoroughly investigate the matter, Director. Retreating to Mother Lu's side, the couple exchanged a subtle, silent look. I understood their unspoken message completely. If I were confirmed to be a bully, the Lu family would instantly abandon an adopted daughter they felt no affection for, cutting ties without a second thought. As for Lu Chenyu, he stood beside the quietly sobbing Jiang Shishi, offering gentle words of comfort while occasionally casting dark, cold glances in my direction. Seeing that everyone was assembled, the principal cleared his throat. Student Jiang, please explain the situation clearly. With red eyes and a trembling voice, Jiang Shishi repeated the exact story she had fed Lu Chengyu earlier. The room instantly buzzed with hushed chatter. The reporters could barely contain their righteous indignation, and one of them stepped forward to press the attack. According to our preliminary investigation, Lu Xian and Jiang Shishi were originally friends in the same orphanage, even referring to each other as sisters. After Lu Xian was adopted by the Lu Corporation, while Jiang Shishi's adoptive parents were merely ordinary staff at the school, did Lu Xian turn around and bully her old friend just because she entered a wealthy household, stealing opportunities that rightfully belonged to others? The room fell dead silent. Every camera lens was aimed directly at me, their red recording lights blinking rhythmically. No journalist wanted to miss out on such a scandalous story. After all, social mobility and class privilege were incredibly sensitive public issues. If a rich family's child was actively stealing educational resources from a poor child and crushing their path forward, the public outrage would be catastrophic. In the heavy, suffocating silence of the auditorium, I suddenly burst into laughter. The sudden sound made the reporters exchange uneasy glances. I looked directly at the journalist who had posed the question and spoke unhurriedly. Reporter, I've read in books that all information gathered by journalists must undergo cross-verification and fact-checking before publication. Tell me, has basic journalistic integrity been completely thrown out the window just to fabricate a sensational headline? The reporter's face flushed bright red. I stood up, turning to point a calm finger directly at Jiang Shishi. Up until this moment, the only source of information you have is her word alone. The entire narrative rests on a single person's unverified claim. I looked at Jiang Shishi, whose face was turning pale. I had once considered her a sister, but in our past life, she had murdered me out of sheer envy. In this life, she was trying to climb over my ruined reputation to secure her own position. If I destroyed her today, she had nobody to blame but herself. Since the reporter asked, I might as well share what I know. I said coolly, Jiang Shishi harbors intense jealousy toward me. She believes that since we started in the exact same orphanage, and since she considers herself prettier and smarter than me, there's no reason I should be living a better life than her now. Driven by jealousy and resentment, she fabricated these lies to frame me. Before I could finish, Lu Chengyu stepped forward angrily to refute my words. He wanted to claim that Jiang Shishi had voluntarily chosen the impoverished Jiang family, proving she wasn't greedy for wealth and that I was twisting the truth. However, before he could utter a word, The heavy wooden doors of the auditorium were pushed open violently. Standing at the threshold was a slender figure with short hair, standing quietly like a blade of wild grass that nobody ever noticed. My homeroom teacher recognized her immediately and called out in surprise, "Tang Muning, what are you doing here?" In my previous life, Tang Muning had already committed suicide by this point in the timeline, but in this life, she was standing right here, very much alive. Tang Muning walked in slowly and stood right beside me. She lowered her head slightly and spoke in her signature calm voice. "I am here to testify." Her sudden appearance caught the reporters off guard. One reporter quickly chimed in, "Student, are you here to testify about Lucian bullying Jiang Shishi?" Looking at Tang Moning's plain, worn clothing, she clearly didn't come from a wealthy background. To the media, she appeared to belong to the same underprivileged class as Jiang Shishi. Tang Moning glanced at the reporter who spoke and shook her head faintly. Her voice remained steady and firm. "I am here to testify for Lucian." I stared at Tang Moning in genuine shock. To prepare for today's confrontation, I had set up multiple contingencies, but Tang Moning testifying for me was never part of my plan. Our relationship couldn't even be called particularly close. After I gave her that tutoring money, she had looked up the standard market rate for private tutoring, calculated the exact hours, 1 hour per day, and returned every single cent of the excess money to me. Every day, she taught me math for precisely 60 minutes, packed her bag, and left without wasting a second, functioning like a meticulously programmed machine. In our past life, Tang Muning had died just 1 month before the National College entrance exam. Her abusive father, having lost a massive gambling bet, drank cheap liquor and gave her the most brutal beating of her life, permanently ruining her right hand, her writing hand. Nobody knew what agony she endured alone in the dark. All people knew was that the quiet, studious girl ultimately chose to end her own life. In this life, even if Tang Muning and I couldn't become close friends, I was determined to save her. So I had hired 2 local thugs to beat her father so severely he ended up hospitalized. At the very least, he would be completely bedridden and unable to lay a finger on his family until the college entrance exams were over. To cover my tracks, I had even skipped an evening self-study session to handle the payment. When I sneaked back into the classroom, I happened to run straight into Tang Moning, who was responsible for taking attendance. She had asked me why I missed self-study. I had scratched my head, desperately trying to invent a plausible excuse. I couldn't exactly tell her, "Oh, I skipped class to hire thugs to beat up your dad." Just then, the teacher called Tang Muning out to answer a phone call from the front desk. 5 minutes later, she returned to the classroom, her expression as calm and unreadable as ever. She picked up the attendance sheet, stared at it for a long moment, and then put it down without marking me absent. She had simply said, "Don't miss class next time." Only now, as Tang Muning stood beside me in the auditorium saying, "I am here to testify for Lucian," did I realize the truth she had known everything all along. Under the watchful eyes of everyone in the room, Tang Muning drew a thick stack of log sheets from her bag and placed them neatly on the table. Jiang Shishi's face drained of all color in an instant. According to school regulations, anyone using the dance practice room was required to log their name, entry time, and exit time. However, because the rule was rarely enforced, most students simply gave a verbal heads-up to the dance teacher before walking in. Nobody could have guessed that Tang Muning had been so meticulous, filling out the log sheet every single time and keeping every copy. Before the eyes of the entire assembly, the evidence was laid bare. Out of more than 30 practice sessions, the name Jiang Shishi appeared a grand total of twice. In other words, out of 30 rehearsals, she had only bothered to attend 2. Only after ensuring everyone had taken a clear look at the log sheets did Tang Muning speak up. Jiang Shishi claimed that Lu Xian mocked her for being unable to afford a performance costume and barred her from the stage. But when I told Lu Xian that I couldn't afford a costume and wanted to drop out, Lu Xian told me to keep practicing. The very next day, she bought performance costumes for the entire class out of her own pocket. Tang Moning turned her gaze to Jiang Shishi. Jiang Shishi also claimed that Lu Xian bullied her because her father is a guard and her mother is a janitor. My father doesn't even have a steady job, and my family survives on my grandmother's tiny welfare allowance. She looked at me, her eyes clear and unyielding. If Lu Xian bullies the poor, why didn't she bully me? This raw, unvarnished self-exposure left everyone in the room stunned into absolute silence. A sharp wave of bitterness welled up in my nose. I felt deep heartache for my past self, who had been beaten to death, and profound sorrow for the 17-year-old girl beside me who was carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders. With a quiet sigh, I pulled out my phone and played a video file on the projector. In the video, Jiang Shishi was clearly visible, constantly offbeat, forgetting dance steps, and completely throwing off the group's synchronization. Among the polished dancers, her awkwardness stuck out like a sore thumb. Naturally, while the rest of the class was practicing endlessly, she had been sneaking off with Lu Changyu to gaze at the stars. In truth, Jiang Shishi hadn't even wanted to participate in the dance showcase in the first place. It was only after I removed her name from the roster that she ran to Lu Changyu, twisting the facts to play the victim, hoping to gain his sympathy while deepening his hatred for me. She simply hadn't expected the situation to blow up to this scale, nor that I would hold ironclad evidence and a key witness. I didn't remove Jiang Shishi's name out of malice. I addressed the assembly calmly. This performance carries bonus credit points for university admissions. 2 girls in our group are art specialty students who are relying on those bonus points to qualify for top universities. If I let Jiang Shishi perform and ruin the entire team's score, it would directly destroy those 2 girls' futures. I had no choice but to make that call. Following the meeting, public opinion flipped completely overnight. Jiang Shishi's reputation at school plummeted, and classmates began actively avoiding her. Stay away from Jiang Shishi. If you ever have a minor disagreement with her, she'll go around telling people you're bullying her for being poor. To be honest, her family isn't even that poor. Both her parents have official school jobs. There are plenty of students here on full poverty scholarships who don't spend their days weeping and playing the victim. Sigh. Some people just refuse to put in the work and prefer blaming fate for everything. To everyone's surprise, Jiang Shishi remained dead silent throughout the mounting gossip, enduring the isolation all the way through the final review period and the completion of the National College entrance examination without causing any further scene. Tang Moning warned me privately, "Be careful, she's definitely plotting a comeback." I smiled. It's fine. If she can endure, so can I. I could clearly feel that Jiang Shishi was setting something up in the background. At home, Lu Changyu's hostility toward me reached an all-time high. Previously, he had at least hidden his bullying from father and mother Lu, but now he didn't even bother masking it during family dinners. Without warning, he slammed a bowl of scalding chicken soup down onto the table. The boiling broth splashed violently across my face and arms. The maid gasped in horror, rushing over with ice packs and burn ointment. Throughout the entire scene, Mother Lu kept her head down, quietly sipping her broth as if she were completely blind. Father Lu merely glanced up at Lu Chengyu, his tone casually indifferent. "Watch your temper. Don't let outsiders think our family lacks manners." Neither father nor Mother Lu cared about me in the slightest. To them, I was merely an adopted daughter brought home on the advice of a fortune teller, like a potted money tree placed in the living room, watered occasionally for good luck. In my previous life, Jiang Shishi had tried desperately to win their favor, but reality proved that to be a dead end. Father and Mother Lu were so busy they barely had time for their biological son, let alone an adopted daughter. In elite circles, affection was useless. Only mutual benefit mattered. I placed the ice pack down on the table, wiped my face, and looked up calmly. Father, Mother, there's something I need to tell you. My exam results came out today. I scored 718 on the Gaokao. I am the top scholar in the science track for the entire province. Father and Mother Lu snapped their heads up simultaneously. Even Lu Changyu's eyes widened in sheer disbelief. I picked up my chopsticks, took a slow bite of greens, and continued smoothly under their stunned gazes. You previously mentioned that academics were my own responsibility, so I wasn't planning on making a big deal out of it. However, my principal just called to say that media outlets want to interview you regarding your family's educational philosophy. I wanted to check if you have time in your schedule. In my past life, despite juggling work and study, my grades had always been exceptional. Relearning the exact same material in this life without financial distractions meant my academic rise was unstoppable. Father and Mother Lu exchanged a look, stunned speechless. They hadn't paid any attention to the Gaokao Lu Changyu had long applied to a university in Australia and was heading abroad right after graduation. They had assumed I would simply figure things out on my own. I planned to apply to the School of Management at Peking University. I stated calmly to Father Lu, during my freshman year, I'd like to intern at Lu Corporation's investment department. It wasn't a request, it was a clear declaration of intent. Father Lu remained silent for 2 full seconds before his face broke into a warm, prideful smile. If you have such ambition, of course that's wonderful. Xian, congratulations! Housekeeper, fetch a bottle of my fine red wine from the cellar. Xian is 18 now. We must celebrate properly tonight. I completely ignored Lu Chengyu's dark, murderous glare, raising my glass to toast Father and Mother Lu, thanking them smoothly for their nurturing care. I had made the right gamble. Father and Mother Lu didn't care about an ordinary adopted daughter, but the provincial Gaokao top scholar was a trophy of familial glory, a testament to their superior parenting, and a symbol of future prestige. That night, Father and Mother Lu were in exceptionally high spirits, popping open several expensive bottles of wine and setting up media interview schedules before retiring to their room tipsy. Only Lu Chengyu and I were left at the dining table. I gently swirled the wine in my glass as the crystal chandelier cast long shadows across his handsome, sullen face. He had inherited his mother's sharp features and deep-set eyes, looking every bit the aristocratic heir, yet his gaze was ice-cold. Lucian, don't think for a second that doing this makes you actual family. I stood up, neatly pushed my chair back into place, leaned down close to his ear, and whispered softly, "Young master, look closely at the situation. It's your parents who are eager to claim me as family." Flashing him a cold smile, I turned and walked away, leaving him with an arrogant back view. When I returned to school to collect my transcript, I ran into Jiang Shishi standing in the shadows of the hallway. Her face was a storm of envy, confusion, and rage. She had obviously just seen the broadcasted news interview featuring me alongside Father and Mother Lu, where Mother Lu lovingly wrapped an arm around my shoulder, while Father Lu eloquently discussed his educational philosophy with the reporter, posing for a polished family photo. That family photo represented everything Jiang Shishi had failed to achieve in her previous life. She glared at me, her voice trembling with intense malice. "What kind of dirty trick did you use?" I shrugged, studying hard and improving every day. "You wouldn't believe it even if I told you." As I turned to leave, Jiang Shishi hissed behind me. "Even if you win over Father and Mother Lu, it's completely useless. The person Lu Chengyu truly loves is me." I chuckled quietly to myself. Wasn't the classic female lead trope all about fighting against the family's opposition and standing together against the world? I wished her the best of luck. 10 minutes later, however, I encountered the male lead of that grand drama. Lu Chengyu and a dozen of his followers cornered me in a completely deserted school hallway. With classes over and teachers gone, the empty building was eerily quiet. My heart chilled slightly when I noticed the security cameras overhead had been smashed beforehand. This was a deliberate, calculated ambush. Lu Qianyu stepped forward, his voice dripping with icy venom. Lu Xian, your little dream of climbing out of the gutter ends today. I'm going to show you what happens to hypocritical pretenders. Before he even finished speaking, his lackeys rushed forward. One of them grabbed me violently by the hair, yanking my head back and smashing it hard against the concrete wall. Bang! Dust cascaded down as a blinding flash of pain exploded behind my eyes. Driven by pure survival instinct, I delivered a brutal kick straight into the thug's groin. He let out a blood-curdling shriek and collapsed onto the floor, curling into a ball. As Lu Chengyu signaled the rest of his gang to charge, I quickly reached into my backpack and pulled out a bottle of red wine, a gift Father Lu had given me earlier to celebrate with friends. Without hesitation, I smashed the heavy bottle against the wall. Red wine and glass splinters showered the floor. Grasping the jagged glass neck, I thrust the sharp edges toward the group. Come on then, step forward, I spat. My hair matted with sweat and concrete dust as warm blood trickled down my forehead. I didn't know how unhinged I looked at that moment, but the sheer savagery in my eyes froze the dozen boys in their tracks. I wiped the blood from my chin and laughed hysterically. Hypocritical pretender, Lu Qianyu, you really know how to talk. I might be a pretender, but at least I've spent money to save lives. What about our righteous young master Lu? Who have you ever helped in your entire life besides that precious white lotus of yours? In the distance, Zhang Shishi was ducking behind the pillar. I had seen her the moment I walked in. Lu Changyu was playing the hero on her behalf, and there was no way she would miss the show. Ignoring the blood dripping onto my shirt, I stared down Lu Changyu and his gang, my voice dropping to a terrifyingly calm register. Lu Changyu, you brought this many people to make such a big scene. You'd better make sure I don't survive today, because if I walk out of here alive, my smile vanished completely. I swear I will drag you and your entire family straight down to hell with me. Lu Changyu's face drained of color. As Zhang Shishi had noted, the Lu family held massive influence, and minor bullying could easily be swept under the rug. But committing outright murder inside a school was a line he lacked the guts to cross. He gritted his teeth, his voice shaking slightly. A manipulative bitch like you, dying now would be too easy on you. I burst out laughing. You think this is manipulation? Do you want to know what real calculation looks like? Looking directly into Lu Chenyu's eyes, I delivered the revelation word by word. The journalists who investigated the bullying case, I was the one who summoned them. Both Lu Chenyu and Zhang Shishi froze in absolute horror. Did you really think it was a coincidence? I sneered, pointing at myself. I sent an anonymous tip to the media reporting severe, systemic bullying at Haicheng No. 1 High School. A story like that is pure gold for journalists. So of course they sent a full crew. I leaned closer to Lu Chenyu. I knew Zhang Shishi's tiny brain inside out. The moment I cut her from the dance roster, she was guaranteed to run to you crying that I was bullying her. So while she was spinning her little tail, the investigative reporters were already sweeping the campus. I had all the evidence ready to clear my own name from the start. I continued, watching his eyes widen. But what do you think happens when journalists realize the initial claim was a misunderstanding? Do they pack up and leave? No, they kept digging. And what they dug up was the real bully. Lu Changyu's breath hitched violently. Director Li made his stance crystal clear. He despises school bullying above all else. If your record of violent bullying gets exposed to the press, not even your father can protect you. That is how a real scheme works. something neither your fragile brain nor Jiang Shishi's waterlogged head could ever comprehend. The lackeys standing behind Lu Chenyu began to panic. Brother Lu, what if those reporters are still on campus? If we get caught doing this on camera, our lives are completely over. Most of those boys came from ordinary families. They only backed Lu Chengyu because they assumed his family's shield was impenetrable. But after seeing the media swarm the auditorium earlier, the threat of public exposure terrified them. So, my dear stepbrother, I whispered, pressing the jagged edge of the broken bottle lightly against Lu Chengyu's collarbone. You had better love me, care for me, and support my rise within the Lu Corporation. Otherwise, I smiled brightly, I'll blow up the entire Lu family. I tapped the glass gently against his neck, turned around, and walked away. Not a single person dared to stand in my way. Behind me, Jiang Shishi's tearful voice echoed down the hall. Chengyu, how could you just let her walk away? Shut the hell up! Lu Chengyu snapped back, his voice laced with raw fury and fear. Following that incident, Lu Chengyu became remarkably obedient. Previously, he had excluded me from every elite social gathering, but when invited to a high-profile banquet shortly after, he actively approached Mother Lu. I'll bring my sister along. Prepare a proper evening dress for her. Over the phone, I could hear Jiang Shishi throwing a fit in the background. If you're bringing a date, shouldn't it be me? Lu Chenyu responded with visible exhaustion and irritation. I already paid for your tuition and expenses to study abroad in Australia. What more do you want from me? Jiang Shishi's Gaokao scores had been abysmal. In our past life, she had never been academically inclined, focusing all her energy on pleasing the Lu family. In this life, switching from easy mode to absolute hell meant her grades cratered completely. Her only remaining lifeline was to cling tightly to Lu Chenyu. Yet, I could clearly see that Lu Chenyu was already growing sick of her. Originally, what had attracted Lu Chenyu to Jiang Shishi was the illusion of a fiercely independent, unyielding poor girl who refused to bow to wealth or power. But a fake persona can only be maintained for so long. Lu Chenyu liked a proud wild bird who rejected luxury gifts, not a needy, clingy girl who broke down crying every day, demanding to be flown out to Australia. Jiang Shishi had no backup plan left. If Lu Chenyu abandoned her, she would be trapped forever in the suffocating environment of the Jiang household. Over the summer break, Jiang Shishi accompanied Lu Chenyu to Australia. Although Lu Chenyu had never officially announced her as his girlfriend, the Jiang parents couldn't wait any longer. They tipped off paparazzi to snap photos of the two dining together. Plastering headlines across the internet, Lu Corporation Airlines intimations with childhood sweetheart. Father Lu slammed his phone onto the table in disgust. Despicable tactics. Trying to force her way into our family before even graduating university. When Lu Chengyu returned home, Father Lu berated him mercilessly. If you want to get married eventually, wait for your mother and me to arrange a suitable match. You can mess around outside, but don't bring trash with a dubious background into this house. Lu Chengyu sat silently through the lecture, his eyes occasionally drifting toward me as I sat nearby reviewing financial reports. In our past life, the Jiang couple had pulled a similar stunt the moment Lu Chengyu showed interest in me. They tried to drug me and push me into his bed. Father and Mother Lu had violently opposed our union back then as well, but they died before they could stop the wedding. Father Lu strictly grounded Lu Chenyu for the remainder of the break, forbidding him from seeing Jiang Shishi. Lu Chenyu didn't resist. Instead, he stayed home and repeatedly attempted to curry favor with me, buying expensive diamond earrings and waiting outside bars late at night to drive me home. Tang Muning, sitting in the passenger seat beside me with a mocktail, watched Lu Chenyu smoke cigarette after cigarette outside the bar window. "Are you sure about this?" she asked quietly. "Don't worry," I replied, holding up a hand. "I know exactly what I'm doing." When I got into Lu Chengyu's car, he handed me a bag containing hangover soup and pastries from my favorite bakery. I accepted it politely, but the moment we arrived home, I tossed the entire bag directly into the outdoor trash bin, right in front of his eyes. Lu Chengyu stood there silently, unable to utter a single word of complaint. During our university years, Tang Muning majored in computer science at Tsinghua University and developed an innovative AI management system designed to streamline corporate HR efficiency. Seeing the immense potential, I pulled 2 million yuan from my investment portfolio to co-found a technology startup with her. She handled the core engineering, while I managed business operations and strategy. With proper nutrition, no domestic abuse, and financial security, Tamuning's physical appearance and confidence blossomed rapidly. I found myself constantly fending off suitors trying to approach her. Jiang Shishi eventually caught wind of Lu Chengyu driving me home regularly. Having waited outside our gated community for days, she finally spotted me stepping out of his luxury car. I could only imagine the sheer terror gripping her heart at that moment. She was watching her worst nightmare repeat itself, seeing the cold Lu Chengyu, who had once thrown her out empty-handed, now gently draping a coat over me. A few weeks later, after wrapping up a client meeting, I encountered a familiar gaunt figure on the stairwell of an office building. Jiang Shishi had lost a concerning amount of weight. Her cheeks sunken and her eyes bloodshot. Yet beneath the exhaustion, her delicate features remained striking. Back in the orphanage, she had always been the prettiest child, the one every adopting couple noticed first. Had it not been for her arrogant vanity, she could have easily been chosen by a loving, normal family early on. She stepped toward me on high heels, towering half a head above me. "I'm pregnant," she said coldly. "It's Lu Chengyu's child. Why are you telling me?" I asked placidly. "Am I the father?" "Xian, what kind of black magic did you use?" She suddenly screamed, her composure shattering completely. "Clearly, he was supposed to love me in this life. You were supposed to be the one he despised. Why is he pulling away from me again? I studied everything you did in the past life. I did everything the exact same way." I looked at the weeping, trembling girl before me and let out a soft sigh. "Step aside, please. I have another client to meet." "You won't tell me? Fine." Jiang Shishi's eyes glinted with dark madness. Before I could react, she lunged forward, grabbing my arms tightly, and threw herself backward down the concrete staircase. Thud, thud, thud. We tumbled down the flight of stairs together. My head smashed violently against the steel handrail, turning my vision pitch black. A sharp, unbearable agony flared through my knees. Through the hazy fog of pain, I heard Jiang Shishi wailing hysterically, "Chengyu, our baby is gone. Your sister pushed me. She said my child would steal her inheritance." Through blurred vision, I saw Lu Chengyu rushing down the stairs. Blood was spreading rapidly beneath Jiang Shishi's dress. Unexpectedly, Lu Chengyu walked straight past Jiang Shishi, leaned down, and gently scooped me into his arms. Jiang Shishi's eyes bulged in absolute disbelief. "Chengyu!" Lu Chengyu turned his head toward her, his eyes filled with cold revulsion. "Jiang Shishi, you genuinely make me sick." Those exact words, the very phrase that had shattered her in our previous life, echoed through the stairwell once more. Jiang Shishi let out a blood-curdling shriek of pure madness as darkness consumed my consciousness. When I awoke in the hospital, the crisp smell of disinfectant filled the air. Lu Chengyu was sitting beside my bed, his voice quiet and strain-filled. "Jiang Shishi called me there on purpose to frame you. But I arrived early and heard your entire conversation. Xian, rest well. As for her pregnancy, she secretly spiked my drink weeks ago. Despite the throbbing pain in my head and knees, I looked at him with cool indifference. Are you explaining yourself to me?" He froze. "If your parents hold you accountable, explain it to them," I said, pulling the blanket up. "It has nothing to do with me." I'm breaking up with her," he blurted out desperately. "Still has nothing to do with me." Lu Chenyu looked up, his eyes filled with raw vulnerability. "Xian, do you really not understand how I feel about you?" I looked into his eyes, watching the hope swell within him before delivering the final blow that crushed him into the dirt. "Of course I understand. Lu Chenyu, you really are the most pathetic, foolish hypocrite in the world." His face paled instantly. He opened his mouth, stammering out a quiet confession. I know I've done terrible things to you, but I'm willing to spend the rest of my life making it up to you. At first, I truly hated you, but over time, I couldn't stop looking at you. When you stood in that hallway threatening to drag my family to hell, I wasn't angry. I realized you were fierce, resilient, and full of life. You were everything I ever wanted. He lowered his head, whispering softly, "Lately, I keep having this dream. A dream where we get married, and I hold your hand and tell you that everything I own belongs to you. Xian, we could be so happy together." I let out a soft laugh. "Sure, Lu Chenyu, we can be happy. How about this? Go drink a full bowl of toilet water, just like you forced me to do back then, and I'll consider it." Lu Chenyu left silently, promising that he would wait for my forgiveness, no matter how long it took. The moment he stepped out, Tang Muning walked in, clutching a stack of business documents. I cast her a glance. "You heard all that?" "Every word," she replied blithely. "So, do you think our morning client has more than a 50% chance of signing the contract?" "You unfeeling monster," I deadpanned. "Couldn't you at least ask when I'm getting discharged first?" "I already asked the doctor at the door," she said, adjusting her glasses. "He said the day after tomorrow." I've readjusted our schedule accordingly. Our next investor roadshow is set for Thursday. Can't you let me rest a bit longer? No need. I know what matters most to you. Looking at my exceptionally efficient business partner, I couldn't help but smile. With her by my side, building a fortune was practically guaranteed. Following our successful IPO roadshow, I took a day off to visit Jiang Shishi in the hospital. Having lost a child and been dumped by Lu Chenyu, she looked hollow and broken. The Jiang parents hadn't visited her even once. Instead, the only visitors she received were the orphanage director and several young orphans. Xian has been anonymously funding our orphanage for years, the director explained gently to Jiang Shishi. Thanks to her donations, Duduwa and Lala were able to get their surgeries. Jiang Shishi sat frozen in bed. While most orphans faced grim futures due to physical or cognitive health challenges, she and I had been blessed with health and beauty. Yet after leaving the orphanage, Shishi had never looked back. I, on the other hand, had quietly poured my wealth into saving those children. Listening to the young orphans happily chatting about Sister Xian, Jiang Shishi buried her face in her hands and wept uncontrollably. After the director and children left, I stood quietly by her bedside. "Do you hate me that much?" she sobbed through her fingers. "I just wanted a better life. What did I do wrong?" "Wanting a better life isn't wrong," I answered softly. "Your mistake was assuming you could simply eat someone else's cake instead of baking your own. And even if someone hands you their cake, how do you know it isn't poisoned?" Jiang Shishi glared at me tearfully. "What right do you have to lecture me? Didn't you take money from the Lu family too?" "I repaid every single cent with interest the moment our company turned a profit," I replied calmly. "As for the luxury clothes and jewelry Mother Lu gave me, I've locked them all in a safe deposit box, ready to return them when I sever ties with the family completely." The Lu Corporation built its empire on aggressive real estate practices that cost human lives, I added. Those bloody profits will eventually trigger a collapse. I have no interest in being buried alongside them. Jiang Shishi stared at me in stunned silence before whispering, "In both lives, I lost to you." I shook my head gently. "You didn't lose to me, Shishi. You lost because you spent 2 lifetimes treating me as your ultimate enemy. while completely ignoring the real monsters who were destroying you. Leaving her with those words, I turned and walked out of the room. Years passed quickly. On the day our tech enterprise officially listed on the stock market, breaking records across the industry, a breaking news banner flashed across the building's digital screens. Jiang Shishi steps Lu Corporation heir, Lu Chengyu victim in ICU, suspect arrested. Tang Muning stood beside me, glancing briefly at the screen before looking away. Aren't you going to ask if I'm worried about him? I teased her gently. You aren't, she replied flatly. He used to say he loved me deeply. I laughed. Tang Muning maintained her poker face. Lucian, I'd rather take out a high-interest loan than see you accept love from a piece of trash. Now, review your keynote speech. You have 6 awkward punctuation pauses. Yes, class monitor. I chuckled. Moments later, the Global Tech Summit commenced. Under the dazzling lights, the presenter announced our names. Tang Muning and I stepped onto the stage together as the youngest, most successful female founders in the industry. Tang Muning wore a crisp white tailored suit, standing tall like a majestic pine tree that has survived the harshest winter. I wore an elegant black silk gown, radiant and composed. Are you nervous? I whispered to her. AI doesn't get nervous, she replied dryly. You asked a redundant question. After a pause, she reached out and firmly grasped my hand, her palm warm and reassuring. Don't be nervous, Lucian. For the rest of our lives, I'll stand in front of you. Looking into her steady, unwavering eyes, I saw the exact same light from the day she offered me that clean towel in high school. From the moment I saved her from her abusive father, she had decided to stand by my side forever. As the massive LED screens displayed our company logo, thunderous applause erupted across the hall. Hand in hand, we stepped forward to greet our future. Lu Chengyu survived the stabbing, though his health was permanently ruined, a fitting end, considering he would live to see the eventual financial and legal collapse of the Lu Corporation. Inside prison, Jiang Shishi wrote me a letter expressing her desire to repent and volunteer at the orphanage upon her release, sending it off as your sister. I read it quietly and archived it away. Later that afternoon, Tang Muning and I visited the orphanage to establish an official charitable foundation to support underprivileged youth. Tang Muning's side story. Tang Muning had always believed she was incapable of making friends. In a world where the pretty played with the pretty and the rich played with the rich, she was neither. Until a certain girl transferred into her class, constantly pestering her with silly questions. Class monitor, why do you wear long sleeves in this heat? Class monitor, your math explanations are amazing. Can you tutor me? Tang Muning had tried to remain cold, but the girl kept returning with a bright, sly smile, plying her with snacks and tutoring fees, carefully preserving her fragile dignity while secretly funding her grandmother's life-saving surgery and arranging for her abusive father to be dealt with. What Lucian never knew was that, in the original timeline, after Tang Muning's right hand was broken and her grandmother died, a strange woman had handed her a slip of paper with a mysterious time reset contact number. At her lowest point, Tang Muning had used her final breath not to save herself, but to send Lucian's information instead. She is so resilient, so brilliant, and so kind, Tang Muning had thought back then. If anyone deserves a second chance at life, it's her. When Tang Muning woke up back in her 17-year-old body with her memories intact, she realized the reset had worked. This time, she swore she would protect Lucian from the shadows. Standing under the bright lights of the global stage today, hand in hand with Lucian, Tang Muning looked at the girl beside her and smiled faintly. The promise made in the dark years of their youth had finally been fulfilled. They had truly walked into the light together.
If you're liking the story so far, a quick like, share, and subscribe would mean a lot and keep me going.